Welcome to the Hot Mess Garden. Today we're going to take a tour of this late fall garden, which is amazingly still producing peppers and tomatoes. We'll show you what's become of the cucumbers, the okra, and everything else. If you're here for the first time, I want to welcome you. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you along with us for the journey. Here on this channel, we share what life is like on our little farm here in Southern Virginia. So without further ado, I'm going to take you on a little tour of what I like to call the Hot Mess Garden. Got my messy bun and ready to show you all the mess and some little bonus goodies. So like these guys are jalapenos and they're still producing these incredibly delicious peppers. We have had some birds coming through and literally just gnawing off the ends of the peppers. So that's so sad. But the hot mess garden, what are you going to do? This is probably the messiest part of the garden. When the okras stopped producing, we just kind of let them go. And now they're coming back, making weird little demented okra pods, but they're covered with tiny little bugs. So they could be aphids or spider mites. I'm not getting too close to them because I don't want to move those bugs around our property. So part of our hot mess plan for these is to yank them out of the ground and probably do a bonfire with them, get rid of all those little pesky bugs so that they won't infest the soil for next year. We've never seen that happen before, and these okra plants didn't have a single bug on them except for ants the entire season. So it's very weird to see them both trying to make a second crop of okra and getting totally decimated by little buggies. So over here we have a couple of different elements of mess. First are our tomatoes, which are basically the leaning tower of tomatoes at this point, but they're still making tomatoes. So they look terrible, but they're still producing a lot of fruit for us. So we're just going to let them keep going as long as they want to until the frost comes along and ends it. And then all up in here is a super hot mess. It's our asparagus. So this stuff is very frondy and still green. So we're going to just leave them like this until much later in the season when they all start looking dry and dead like this guy. And then we'll mow them over and do some weed suppression and get them ready to go again for next year. But yeah, they look absolutely crazy. This one's covered in little berries. So those are future seeds for asparagus. Looks terrible, but it's going to make us a lot of food for next year. It's been an incredible year for peppers. So our peppers have been extremely prolific, and along the theme of hot mess, they've been really, really hot. So any of our spicy pickles, any of our pickled jalapenos, all of that's going to have a little extra kick to it this year. And this one, we did these just for ourselves. These are little bell peppers. They're little cute mini bell peppers, and we just love them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants, and we've put up about 25 pounds of frozen peppers to eat during the winter. We've also used them in our chow chow and our bread and butter pickles, so that's pretty amazing. And then we're on the next row. We have these gorgeous serranos, and we've been letting some of them go and get red. So these guys are super hot. We only had maybe 4 or 5 serrano plants, and they are just absolutely covered. I mean, every single branch looks like this. So I'm going to come out and do a little harvesting later. In this corner of the garden, we've got our cayenne peppers. Most of our peppers are even still blooming right now, which is amazing. I came through and did a pretty good harvest, but we're getting a bunch of cayenne peppers. And I use these for a bunch of our different recipes, and also we're going to try doing a hot sauce this winter. So we're going to use some of these for that as well. Probably the hottest mess amongst all the peppers are our little Hungarian hot wax peppers. So last year, they were really tiny plants, but they were very prolific, and I like to use them in our pickled okra. So I wanted to make sure this year, since we had so much okra, that we would have enough of these peppers. So I planted a ton of them, and they have overproduced like crazy. Many of the plants got to be huge. I'll show you kind of a sad little mess one though, because it reminds me of last year's plants. So birds have been coming along and taking one bite out of the peppers and then leaving them. So sad. We're still getting a lot of really nice peppers off these plants, even though they are not looking their best. So that's a little Hungarian hot wax pepper for you. I'm going to show you field 1 and you'll get to see what's happened with the cucumbers. All of this over here is field 2 with our okra, peppers, tomatoes, and asparagus. And all of this over here is field 1. So this is where our cucumbers were. And as you can see, it's gotten completely filled in with these gorgeous marigolds. We didn't plant a single marigold this year, but we did intercrop them with the cucumbers last year. And that's how we got all this incredible, beautiful marigold. There are tiny little native bees all over the marigolds. Thank you so much for joining me on this hot mess, beautiful fall garden tour. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss out on one of our updates. Give us a like. It really helps us out in getting the word out about what we're trying to do here. Thanks again so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.